Hey, so I was working today on a very nice laptop. It's actually this one. It's an Asus Duo. Yeah, that I worked some time ago and I couldn't figure out what the problem is. And eventually I made the client an offer and I bought it. And now it's mine, so I'm gonna try to fix it. This has some charging issues. The battery was replaced with a new battery. When you plug it in on one of the ports, it charges like for 3 seconds and then it stops charging. No, for 30 seconds, sorry, not 3. So I thought that I'm gonna make a video about the repair, but then I came up with a different idea. Actually, I would like to make a video about how to actually visualize all this power delivery protocol, and I want to see how it works and be able to understand it better, right? So I think this will help us diagnosing this laptop. So before doing anything practical, let's try to sketch a bit the connection between a charger. Let's say we have here the charger. Yeah, this is the charger, and we have here like the laptop or iPhone or whatever, right? We know that we have a line that is called VBUS, and it's present on both devices. So on VBUS we'll have the current flowing, the voltage and the current flowing from one device to the other. Good. So in this whole power delivery protocol, we're interested in VBUS and a couple of lines, right? We're gonna have CC1 and CC2. Yeah, those are pins that are on the USB-C cable. We have here CC1 and CC2. Good. Now, in the charger, let's say we have a positive and a negative, and the same on the laptop side, we have a positive and a negative, right? So the CC lines here are basically having some pull-up resistors, meaning that we're gonna have a resistor to the positive side. Yeah, so this will always be up. These two lines are gonna be up, and on the other side we're gonna have a couple of resistors that we're gonna pull down these lines. So it's gonna be like this. Now this CC line, in the first place, before any data is sent, the physical connection must be detected, right? So this all happens through the passive hardware, meaning resistors and so on. The charger has these pull-up resistors on the CC lines, and the receiver, like the laptop in this case, or an iPhone or whatever, will have the pull-down resistors on the CC lines. The moment you plug the cable in, a voltage divider is formed. So basically, when we connect CC1 with CC1 here, we're gonna get something like this. We're gonna have two resistors. Yeah, one is connected to ground and the other one is connected to VCC, to plus. And here, yeah, we're gonna have basically a voltage divider. So the moment you plug the cable, in that moment this voltage divider is being built or formed, or however you wanna say it. The charger senses that the CC pin voltage has dropped because it's gonna go down, and it's gonna say, this is it, hey, I'm here, and it's gonna send a signal on the CC line. Only after this detection does the charger apply 5 volts to the VBUS. So the moment it's gonna detect that the line will drop, it will send 5 volt on the VBUS, 5 volt, right? So that our PD controller will take some voltage and it's gonna be powered up. Good. And then the next thing is the charger's menu, so the source capabilities. Basically the charger will send via the CC line like a menu called actually source capabilities, and it's gonna say I can provide 5 volt 3 amps or 9 volt 3 amps or 15 volt 2 amps or 20 volt 2 amps. And the language used is BMC, Biphase Mark Coding on the CC wire, right? You can actually use devices to decode that transmission, because it is in the end a transmission like you can see it on the I2C or whatever. So this is the important part that happens on the charger side. So the first initiation is basically on the charger, and it's gonna send the source capabilities, right? I'm gonna short it down. And then the PD controller, because it's already powered, because once it sent the source capabilities, it has sent the 5 volt on the VBUS, and the PD controller is up, it's receiving the source capabilities, and it's gonna reply, yeah, I'm gonna accept the 9 volt profile, please. And then the charger will say PS ready, power supply ready, and it's gonna send that 9 volts. So this is how basically in short terms the communication works on the USB-C power delivery protocol. Okay, so we have the laptop here that has 2 USB ports, right? The battery is not connected for the moment because we want to ignore the charging part. But for example, it should work on both of the ports. It should negotiate and start the laptop. It should negotiate to 20 volts, of course. So let's put the instruments on the screen, and we see the USB supply right here, the last one. And check here, if I connect this, you see it switches to 20 volts, and the laptop is actually starting. I can feel the CPU getting warm. Good. Now if I connect the other port, you can see that nothing happens. We are still on 5 volt and 4 milliamps. Nothing. Now going back here, we go back to 20 volts. Good. Now let me connect the oscilloscope and let's try to have a visual and see exactly what's going on here. Excellent so far. So we have the oscilloscope here, we have one channel here, and you see I've set it to 200 microseconds, and we have like 500 millivolts per division, because the line will go up when basically the voltage divider is formed, right? So it's gonna go up to about 1.6 volt or something like that. And I'm gonna prepare a second probe. Yeah, I'm gonna open a second channel because I wanna see VBUS. So with the second channel, I've set already the 10 volts per division, and I'm gonna set an offset of like minus 30 volts. So the line comes a bit down, so we can be able to see everything, right? The yellow line will go up, and I think the blue line, if it goes to 20 volts, is gonna go up to here. Yeah, we'll see how we can visualize this and how it will look, and maybe adjust it further if needed. Now I'm gonna need to grab a ground here for my probes, and I'm gonna try to use this this thingy, and this one I should connect it to VBUS, which I know it's on this filter, and this one I should connect it to yeah, it's gonna be a bit difficult, so be patient with me. The other one, I have connected it to the CC1 line, right? So we have two lines, CC1 and CC2, because it depends on the orientation of the connector. So the charger will know if it's like on this side or on this side. Now I'm connected to CC1. Let's hope it's good, and I'm gonna plug it in. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, this is not good. Let's put it on the other side, because I'm currently on the CC1. Yeah, and we can see the communication, and we can see also the blue line went up to 20 volt. Good. Let's do it again. So this is, if I would want it to use it like this, I need to move my probe on the CC2, but we're gonna do this for this video on CC1. So let's see again what's going on and what happens. You're gonna see a first burst of data that will come from the charger, then we're gonna see a second burst of data where the laptop will say, yeah, I'm gonna take the 20, and then the charger will reply with, okay, power source ready. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, very simple. This is very, very easy to diagnose USB-C power delivery issues. So we're gonna go again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and the line went up, the 20 volt line. Good. Now let's move to the other connector that doesn't work. So give me a second. I need to see here if I can fix this and hold them with my hand. And I'm gonna go again, connect it, 1, 2, and we have nothing, right? And the blue line stayed at 5 volt, and you can also see there the 5 volt supply. Yeah, I'm gonna disconnect. Both lines went down, and reconnect. 1, 2, and the third one is missing. The third one is missing. Let's do it again. One, two, and that's it. We have nothing. Now let's go back to the working port and see again how the good communication looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's actually 4, you see. So again, if we count quick, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, charger, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the fourth one says charger is ready. If we go back to the non-working one, it is very difficult here because I'm half blind. Let's say, no, I didn't place it correctly. The probe, let's see. 1, 2, yeah, and the second and the third packet, well, the third and the fourth packet are actually missing, and the charger stays back. So we don't have the PD controller saying, yeah, I'm gonna take the 20 volt, and we don't have the answer from the charger PS ready. 1, 2, nothing. Yeah, we go back to the working line. It is a bit difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 20 volt. Yeah, so this was the visual part of the USB PD communication on the USB protocol. I think this is very interesting. I think this is a very good diagnostic option. So now I know for sure that we have a problem also with the PD controller, although this has been in a different repair shop, and they have replaced the PD controller and they have replaced the interseal chip, but we didn't speak anything until now about the charging part. Yeah, we only focused on the USB-C part. So I was puzzled why on one port we get 20 volts, see, and why on the other port we don't negotiate anything. So I thought maybe there's a problem with the connector, yeah, but we have excluded the connector issue because we see the communication, so the pins are actually fine, we have everything fine up to the PD controller. So now what I'm gonna do, there are also here, I'm not sure you can see them, but here are two MOSFETs, the entry MOSFETs, the glass ones, these two here, that are back-to-back MOSFETs, right? I believe that actually the PD controller that was installed was fine, but something went wrong because of this, maybe one of them is leaking or something. So I'm gonna replace first the MOSFETs, the back-to-back MOSFETs, and then I'm gonna replace the PD controller, and I'm also gonna replace the ISL chip, just because I have it. And then we can make another test and see if something changes. Now the whole problem could also be a battery that is probably not, well, probably, it's not probably, it's definitely not an original battery, because it's a bit difficult to find an original battery and it's very expensive for this model. But this is a compatible battery. The other service repair that replaced it actually got a new one from the vendor, and it was the same outcome. They look kind of identical, but they are not. So maybe it's the battery, maybe the something DC controller speaks with the battery and says, no man, you're not gonna get power. But what I find it intriguing is that it works for 30 seconds, and the 30 seconds is the time the PD controller gets to boot its firmware, and I think the PD controller actually is the culprit that stops the charging for some reason, and tells the EC, okay, you need to stop it. Also, we have the mystery of the second port not working correctly. Yeah, as you see, we get here 20 volts if we look here, right? And on this one you saw we have only half of the communication, and nothing further from there. So using the oscilloscope we could see visually how the charging, how the USB PD negotiation takes place, how the packets look, how long they are, how many they are, and we were able to compare the two ports. Now if we look and we saw that communication, we know for sure that the issue is not related to a port. The issue is actually related further down to the PD controller probably. I think I'm gonna release this video now with this part, and we'll take the repair on a different video. I'm not convinced yet, but I'm gonna see how long the videos are. Okay, so until next time, I hope you find this interesting, and I hope you like it. Give me a like, subscribe if you didn't already, and see you next time. Bye for now.